Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai Pa'ashem Rakakodah Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. And I do mean the rest of the elect out there. Yahweh is sending his son, Yahweh Shai. He's giving the order to Yahweh Shai, showing you that they're not co-equal to deliver the elect of Israel. Not all Israel, along with the angels. Second in command to Yahweh Shai is Michael, and that's clearly in the scriptures. Really, Daniel 12 comes to mind, 12:1, and Revelation 12 as well. Read the whole chapter. It mentions Michael. And Michael's also mentioned in Jude. Okay, that's the second in command only to the Messiah. Okay, then the earthly king, second in command only to I said Yeshaya. I meant to say Yahweh Shai. Second in command on the planet will be King David. He be the physical king. Yahweh Shai be the king over him. Yahweh is the king over them all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, if you're teaching that, let me see. If your stance on Zechariah, let me go to that and push this over here. Zechariah 2 verse 10, actually it's in the 11th verse, but you can start at 10. Matter of fact, the Most High is favored to Zion. The Most High is favored to Zion. So this is what Blue Letter put as a headline. So anything that you read, any blessings received will be bestowed to the Israelites, ultimately all the Israelites. So anybody that takes the stand that Zechariah 2 verse 11, because that's the key point, you took that bag. So anyway, this is where I caught it, because I heard it. Deacon Hassad said Luke is just a Gentile, and I'm figuring he's an Israelite Gentile that came into the faith, but I believe he thinks that Luke is like an Edomite or another nation, which is not the case. These guys sold out, man. Anyway, let me do this. Where am I? Okay, we come back over here. I'll bring it back a little bit more.
Don't comply. Got it? We don't comply. Pinky promise.
Masses that he fed, which he had compassion for, he said, don't labor for the food, for the meat that perishes, but labor for the meat that tendeth to life eternal. You see? So this is what we're supposed to be doing, because if Jake comes to this truth for anything else other than for the word and for salvation, then they're coming in a different way. They're coming in another way. They're coming in like a thief. They're coming in like a hireling. You know,
this
because
is not,
the main thing that we should.
This is not no hustle. This is about first and foremost, you're doing the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai.
To this truth for is for salvation. You know, to understand what the will of the Lord is, to know what times we're living in, you know, and to know what it is that is required of us, so that when the time comes, you know, we could say, well, Lord, you gave us these talents, and this is what we did with the talents. You know, we traded them out there. You know, we got you more talents. You know, blah blah blah. You know, and then, you know, at the end, you know, Lord's will, the Lord have mercy on us to deliver us. That's why the Apostle Peter said, "Give diligence to make your calling and election sure." So I'm gonna see if I click on this here.
Devil's advocate here and see what's going on. Either one, we're going to war.
Now, this, if you watch this from the very beginning, we'll go 6 minutes back, 10 minutes back, or whatever. Okay. The Apostle Ramlab said that this woman did a video or videos of the MOTB, and he said it sounds like she listens to us. And I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of these Edomites, these Christians, they get their scripture game, especially their prophetic game, they get it from GMS. Not so much these other camps, but GMS. Other camps do go into prophecy, but we go into prophecy. We know, go to chat. It's a GMS. What's your take on GMS Israelites? They say they're strict in the Bible, the laws and the prophecies. They really get into them prophecies, and they even cut other camps. All right? Not saying that these other camps don't go into prophecy, but, and I got to do, we did Jeremiah 50. It took us about a month to do it because we were going into other things. So we were trying to get Jeremiah 51. Then we went to Isaiah 14. So hopefully I'll be able to do Isaiah 14. Then we'll do Jeremiah 51 on the street. We're going back to those, it's called hermeneutics, which is interpreting the scriptures, right? So anyway, Apostle Ramlab, he said that this woman sounds like she been watching us. A lot of them be watching us, but trust me. They ain't gonna give us no credit though.
Or 2, something's about to bust out of the skies. Or 3, they're about to issue their agenda. Either way, it's
and I
bad.
say bring it on.
And we don't
I say bring it on. Bring it on. Stop dragging your feet, elite.
comply. Got it? We don't comply. Pinky promise. Now the snap thing, I can't put my finger on unless they want everyone to be upset and just have like unruly unrest so they can bring in martial law, or
Let me know if you can hear it.
everybody's going hungry.
Yeah, the whole F stamps. Now I know somebody. I'm not gonna tell you who it is. It's a woman. She gets it, and I was asking her, "Did you get your?" She said, "No, I got my her full whatever she gets." She got a full thing because I believe she gets it on the 13th, 14th. Some people get on the 1st. So I said, "Did you get?" I asked her a couple of weeks before that because she had it, and then she said, "No, I got it. I got them the money normal money that I normally get." So, anyway.
And then when they dangle the carrot of
Yeah, that was I believe that was a psyop, a Trojan horse, just to get the people programmed that you might lose your money, and if it happens again, you're gonna get desperate. And if they say get the digital ID, you'll take it, but then eventually there'll be problems. Digital ID, the card, there's problem reaction solutions. You can lose your card. Somebody can hack your card, and so I think if you got a chip, they can hack your chip too and take your go into your account and put it in their chip. So there's really no solution to it, right? But they'll come with some bullshit. Oh, the ID's not working. We need a better, better solution. And through technology, we found it. It's a microchip. If you take the chip that's in your card and put it in your hand. We keep saying that if you guys like ISUPK, IUIC, these other groups out here cannot see it or can't get it, you get it. You just don't want to get it because you got paid off not to show the people. And it's you're gonna have a lot of explaining to do. You're gonna have a lot of explaining to do when it actually comes to pass. And hopefully your zombies will wake up.
hey,
You're going to find out GMS was always correct.
if you get this digital ID, then you can eat. Then everyone will comply. So all I know is there's definitely a problem.
So these so-called black women, they don't really, first of all, the majority of black women, they have a short attention span. They don't listen to, they don't study, they don't get into, they're not disciplined. And they'll watch a Hebrew Israelite video or whatever, and then they'll talk shit. Most of the Israelites that are against the Hebrew Israelite thing is mostly women and fat and sweet ass men. So when the chip comes, they don't know not to take it because they probably, I heard that something about that. So I remember, I don't remember exactly who. You know the deal. And they're gonna take it because they're gonna be desperate. They don't want to starve. They don't want their and they kept saying, "Well, my babies, I got 7 babies." A lot of that was AI too, actors and AI. I got 7 babies from 7 different. No, it don't work that way. You know, that's you really bad If you got it like this, every time you have a man, you get one baby and he moves on. So a lot of that is BS. And they put that out there. Esau put that out there. Like the main people that get these stamps are so-called black women. A few men, a few weak ass men got it. First of all, man knows how to get. They work or they get the money the way they want to get it. So I ain't worrying about it. It was you black women and some of you Edomite women, some of you punk ass Edomite men that was bitching. I got 5 kids. There's one Edomite. He gets 28. Some of these motherfuckers got $3,000 a month. They got maybe 4 or 5 kids. They get $3,000. One Edomite, he said he got 5 children. I guess his wife died or left him or whatever with his punk ass. And he said, I get $2,800 a month. I said, God damn, man. So, like, the main ones that they showed that panicked were so-called black women. So they're going to get it. They're going to get that chip. They're going to be fighting over that chip. We keep bringing the chip thing. I didn't want to go into the chip today, but it's calling me, man. It's calling me.
And then they're going to have their little solution, which is not going to be a solution at all. It's just going to create more chaos. But either way, we're cooked, and we just got to stick together, and no matter what.
No, you're cooked if you're an Edomite. You're cooked. We're not cooked. You're cooked. Because if you say, no, I'm not going to take it, and you're Edomite, you're still going to eat that fire just like you took it.
Do not get the ID. Do not get the mark.
Well, the mark is not
right. She's saying, do not get the ID. The ID is the mark. No, the ID is not the mark. The mark is a physical thing. The word charagma, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me do this here. Bear with me for a minute. Let me open this up. Just want to do an experimentation type thing. I should have stayed in the hub. $13.16. Mostly going to it. All you guys talk about is MOTB. Why don't you go to another video? Okay. Okay, Mark. Now, I'm gonna do a little experimentation type thing. Okay, let me see how we're gonna do this. Yeah, I'll do it this way. No, I'll do it this way. Let me do it this way. Give me a second, y'all. Okay, here we go. Give me a second, y'all. Or not. We can move on if you want. I don't give a shit. Charagma meaning. Okay, so it's actually a Greek word. And it led me back. I didn't go to the blue letter if you notice. Okay. Charagma, Greek, a stamp or mark. This is the most common meaning, referring to any mark made by stamping or impressing. This has nothing to do with the scriptures. So that's a physical thing. The mark, charagma, is a physical thing. This is from the Greek. This right here, this reference right here goes to the scriptures. This is not about the scripture. Well, biblically down here it says it, right? It says a stamp or mark. This is the most common meaning, which is a Greek word, referring to any mark made by stamping or impressing. This could be an owner's brand on livestock. An imperial seal on a document, or the impress on a coin. A graven image or sculpture. In this sense, it refers to a carving or sculpted figure, like an idolatrous image. Badge of servitude. This gives you the common breakdown of the word. It has nothing to do with the Bible, but right here it does. Badge of servitude. It can be used as a badge of allegiance or servitude, as seen in the biblical context of the mark of the beast. This is the same type of mark right here, a stamp or mark. This is the most common meaning outside of the scriptures, referring to any mark made by stamping or impressing. This could be an owner's brand on livestock, an imperial seal on a document, or the impress on a coin. This could be an owner's brand on livestock. Are you guys alive? Are you stock? Yes. You're herd. Goyim means herd. One of the definitions means herd. They say you're cows, so we can do what we want with you. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to turn you into a copper top. They're going to turn you into a what? Livestock. You're part of livestock. Bio, meaning living thing. They started with dogs. They're going to do it with people. So the word charagma, when you say, well, it's a spiritual thing, when you look the fucking word up in the Greek, not even the scriptural part. This right here has nothing to do. These right here have nothing to do with the scriptures. Now they go biblically. Oh, non-biblically. Wait a minute. I didn't even know. Wait a minute. Oh, these guys sold out, bro. They all took that back, like Comfy did. And what happened to Comfy? What happened to Comfy is going to happen to you. Non-biblical and classic Greek, charagma in classic Greek, it could refer to the bite of a serpent, which leaves a mark, a brand on a camel, or the carved work on a statue or chiseled work. Whether you're dealing with stone, metal, or wood. Carved, you're dealing with wood, right? This is non-biblical. This is non-biblical. This is non-biblical, and this is non-biblical. This is biblical. This is biblical. So the word charagma, that's why I believe it's written 8. The mark charagma is 8 times in the book of Revelation, but one other time in the book of Acts. And what does Paul describe? He describes something that you chisel or make an idol out of. That charagma is the chisel or the carving tool. Like I said, these guys, my only conclusion is they sold out. They know that the chip is real, but they got money, they taken care of. And we're the premier camp that teaches it. So anyway, let me come back over here. So when a guy says, "Oh, it's spiritual," you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. It's sin in all of its forms. You're an idiot. No, you're not an idiot. You just sold out. Cause Johanna's not dumb. Bishop Nate is not dumb. They're smart individuals. So why can't these intelligent people not see it? Because they were paid off not to see it. Okay, to deceive the people. That's the job. What does it say in? Let me do this. This is a cut to you guys. And we can't prove that you took a bag, but that's the only other, that's the only conclusion we can come to. This is Hebrews 11, and I'm gonna get to the Zechariah 2 verse 10. Really, it's in 11. to show you that these guys are clowns. The two pit bulls are clowns. They're now saying that other nations can be delivered. Yeah, they're going to be delivered to be under us. Whether we beat the shit out of them every day, work them in the field, they're gonna be under us. And we're going to tell them what they got to do, you know, and what they can't do, and this, that, and the third. We can take their sons. We can take their daughters. Give me a second here. I want to go to the part with Moses. Abraham. I hadn't read this in a while. Give me a second. Let me do it this way. Okay, here we go. '23rd verse. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents. His parents hid him, his mother and his sister, because they saw he was a proper child, because the Pharaoh, Egyptian power structure, wanted all the boy babies destroyed, because their magi's, their magicians saw the star constellation, which is a cosmos, and they said that the Great Spirit is going to send a deliverer, and it's going to be a man, and we got to kill all of them just to get him. So he was raised up in the house of Pharaoh, right? He became a general. Go to the history. And they were not afraid of the king's commandment, right? It says, now the same thing with the microchip. People are going to take the chip because they're afraid of the king's commandment. The fact that they can't eat. They're going to be pushed out of the grid. Black woman, you're going to be lying. You're going to be fighting to get that chip. So we're gonna defy the commandment. When you read about Daniel, and when you read about the 3 Hebrew boys, as the story goes, the Babylonian name was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They didn't bow down. Right? That's the whole story right there. It says, going back to Antiochus Epiphanes, don't circumcise your kids. Teach them Greek, dress them up as Greeks, eat pork, don't call yourself a Jew, don't keep the Sabbath, don't keep the high holy days, and become Greek citizens, become Hellenized. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, when he became a man, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God. Who the people of God, vocab? The Israelites. What about the mixed multitude? Than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season. You guys that took that bag or them bags, you said, nah, I want to enjoy myself. The hell with the kingdom. The hell with the Most High. I want it now. What did Tazadakia do? And that should have been a lesson to all of y'all. Everybody saw that this man sold out. Everybody. We was the first one to say, this guy sold out. And which meant that High Priest Ariel, High Priest Shaw, they sold out too. Okay? But the main culprit was this guy, because the Most High could have killed both of these individuals that I just mentioned. He spared them, but he took this guy, because the elite was working directly with him. What they did to him, they doing the Diddy right now. You got too big for your britches. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai stepped in and took his life, man. He said, "Oh, the Charagma's not going to hurt us." And what did he die from, the Charagma? Unless he's living in Dubai, hanging out with Michael Jackson, wearing a burqa. Okay. Anyway, so by faith, when he was come to age, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather, he made a choice, like the chip, you're going to make a choice, choosing rather to suffer affliction, be afflicted with the people of the Most High, Israelites, than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Did not Tazadok enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season? And then the Most High took him out. And those were mega zombies. Them motherfuckers, man. They were hey. Ariah, may the Most High have mercy on your soul and Shah, because you sold out. And really, Yaquab didn't sell out. Marshall didn't sell out. King Marshall didn't sell out. The rest of y'all sold out. The rest of the 7, 5 of y'all sold the fuck out. You sold your soul to Satan. You didn't endure to the end. Shai didn't endure to the end. Gazak didn't endure to the end. Lahab is bugged out. He's teaching that Edomites can make it. Well, he might as well get down with Hassad. Okay. Let's go to suffer affliction. Let's look up the word affliction. I didn't want to make this long, but you don't got to listen to it. To treat ill with another, to be ill treated in company with, share persecutions, or come into a fellowship of ills. Affliction, you know who's being afflicted right now? The Northern Kingdom. They're being afflicted right now. What was the first thing that they said? What about the black African Americans? Why did they do that? It was a spiritual calling. Because we're connected. We're connected. Let's come on back. Affliction, to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High, which are the Israelites, then to enjoy. Let's look up the word enjoy.
Strong's G 2192. Echo.
To have, i.e., to hold, to have hold in the hand, in the sense of wearing, to have hold possessions of the mind, meaning I want a my back. You get the elite gave you enough money to get you a my back. I want a mansion in New Jersey. The elite gave you money or showed you how to make the money to cause you took it out of the people, out of the zombies. You know, you double tides and all this nonsense. Oh, you wanted a bunch of different women, fine women. Well, women are gonna come when you got money, right? It says first you get it in money, then you get it in power, then you get it a woman, right? You know who first said that? Rosie O'Donnell. Inside joke from a man. What's his name? Shit. Anyway, refers to alarm, agitating emotions, to hold fast, keep, or have, or comprise, or involve, or to regard, or consider, or hold as, i.e., own, possess. External things such as pertain to property, or riches, or furniture, or utilities, or goods, or foods, or etc. You want to live the good life, which is called what is it called? The vida dolce. Vida dolce. That means the sweet life. You don't want to drive around in a Ford or a Chevy. You want to drive around in a brand new Maybach or whatever. Hey, Floyd Mayweather, he's living this vida dolce, the sweet life. He sold out to the small hats, man. He's not one of us. He ain't gonna make it either. He gonna take the chip too. So let me come on back. Enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, for a little while. Because ultimately you're going to make it. You're not going to burn in hell like like Bishop Bowinkle says. Okay, so this is enjoyment. Pleasures, enjoyment. The woman, the best wine. You know, Tazadakia, whatever. He probably had that. Was that King Louis XIII, if I'm not mistaken? That's a liquor. That's about $2,000 a bottle right now. Anyway, let's come back over here. Let's come back over here.
The ID. I'm sorry, the ID is not the mark, but it is one step closer to it. You know, and you go watch the whole thing. The whole video is based off of, you know, being denied access through your digital system. Did anybody hear that? You know, I just asked that to see if you were able to hear what this woman was saying. You know, Buck Rashaf, somebody could post it. You know, see if they heard it. Okay, good. You know, but did y'all hear the woman when she was speaking through the video? Okay, good. All right. So pretty much, you know, which I should have just turned the volume up. So pretty much, you know, he's speaking about this as if she's, you know, been watching, you know, Great Millstone videos. And it's unfortunate that I can't say she's watching other Israelite videos out there, because nobody's really talking about it. Even the other groups out there, you know, that know that the micro C hip is the MOTB, they're not even talking about it. They're not really going into it and explaining it and breaking it down, you know, and constantly warning the people of what's coming. They're too busy wanting to be, you know, these dynamic scholars, or, you know, these podcasters, or, you know, whatever the case may be, but they're not concerned with warning the people of what's coming. Some of these guys are you know, well, we're gonna dismantle the Hebrew Israelite thing and show you how it really is supposed to be broken down, like the Genesis. Gonna pull out the weak ass scripture and not that the scripture is weak, but weak for their standpoint. Pull out this weak ass breakdown of Zechariah 2:10. Talking about, what do we do with that? You know, talking about all nations can be saved. No. When you read the whole chapter tells you
they sold out. That's what they did. The insiders. That's it. As I looked at that thing, hey, the first precept that came to my mind was Isaiah 14:1. Which speaks about the strangers shall be joined unto them. That's talking about the strangers, the Israelites, and Zechariah. What is that? 2 and really it's an 11 verse.
Tells you that those nations are talking about the Israelites. You know, but at the same time, you know, like the elder pastor said, them ninjas all took that bag. Yeah, and that's the only conclusion we could come to, because everybody's talking about this here.
Yeah, because now I was watching the Irish comedian dress up like an Israelite, trying to get with the ISUP camp out in I don't know if that's Houston or Dallas or whatever. They got a camp out there, and they were on this guy's show, and they said something. One of the brothers said, I don't know these guys' names from ISUBK. They said that they're gonna be how they say they're gonna be servants in the kingdom, something to that effect. I did the video on it. You can watch it. And then they said what came up was the kissing the feet, you know, kiss the boot. So the guy says, you know, what if I kneel down and kiss your boot? Then they said something to the effect of, you won't go into slavery, or you'll you'll get a easy way to go in the kingdom. It's not you're not going to go into hard bondage. Which that's pretty much saying that if you could be a Gentile and receive blessings, you're not going to receive blessings in the kingdom. All right. So these guys are slowly pushing that the Gentile can make it type thing.
It is this woman, and I put the link to this brother's page on the comment of this video. If you go to the beginning, there's a link there. I'm not sure if you'll be able to click it and go to it. But if you don't see that, just go to YouTube, and just type in GMS dedication, all one word, and this brother's page will come up. And this is the very first video that popped up. And this whole video is pretty much, different scenarios of the digital prison that's coming. Everybody's talking about this digital prison. So why
I recently did 2 videos on different jump cuts of different scenarios of people, of different leaders of different countries, and news people talking about the chip. Not mention that it's fulfillment of Revelation 13:16. This must be a serious topic, because that's all we speak about right now, because this is the next big thing. Let me see something. Did he really just say that? The truth finally comes out. Okay, let me see.
Why aren't these individuals that call themselves, biblical scholars, why are they not speaking about this? This is very important. And this is why the Lord warned us. See, the Lord said, "You shall know them by their fruits." The Lord warned us of these individuals that are nothing more than hirelings. Ezekiel 13:3, it says, "Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing." It says, "O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts." Now, foxes are very sly, cunning, crafty. And one individual that pops up in my head immediately is Bishop Nathaniel, Oil Can Harry. And this dude, I don't know him as well as the other 3 apostles know him, but I do know of him. I've been around him. I talked to him. I saluted him and everything. But I didn't spend a lot of time around him like the other apostles did. This dude is slick as hell. But he ain't slicker than the one who created slickness, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He did a video on the digital, everything going digital now, and that's pretty much one of the main times he touched on it. I don't really watch his videos like that, so I don't really know if he spoke on that. But from what I remember, he did this one lesson on the digital system, because he's going to use that as a springboard, and to say, well, I was always talking about that, moron. If you listen closely, I did say they might throw a micro C-hip in there. So these dudes are slick. This is why now they're slowly but surely trying to spin, the MOTB being a micro C-hip in there somehow. Not fully, because they can't come fully out and say it, but then they kind of spinning it in there, little here, little there, so that when it does fully come out, they could say, well, see, we've always been talking about that. Great Millstone, they were the ones that said that the MOTB wasn't a micro C-hip. They always taught against.
We got tons of videos that say different.
It, and that's just the way it is. Like my man said in the song, that's just the way it is. But these guys are like foxes in the deserts. It says, you have not gone up into the gaps. And these top, outside of Great Millstone, these top groups, the higher ups, like General Yohana, Bishop Nathaniel, the so-called hierarchy.
That was just saying crisscross. That's just the way it is. Crisscross.
You don't see them on the streets. Where are all these different videos where you see them on the streets? You see them, teaching.
Well, they reached the position of Count de Monet.
A classroom, in the classroom, doing the radio whatever thing, but you don't see them out there on the streets. Where did it say that matter of fact, even High Priest Yahweh, when he was an old man, he was still out there on the streets whenever he could go out, because he was a lot older. That spirit hit him. He was out there on the streets.
Yep, that's true. I was at the class. He said, I want to go out and speak today. And he went to the school. The brother had a limousine, and he picked him up, and we filmed everything. I was teaching because Yahweh said he wouldn't go out and teach on the street, and I was teaching. I took his class over. I believe it was on a Wednesday or Thursday, and he went up to right where the Apollo is, and he started right where the McDonald's, about a block away from the Apollo, and he was out there speaking. So if you find a tape of him, I remember when he went out there. I remember when the brother picked him up. Well, y'all don't know.
So what's you guys' excuses? Elder Albert Bivens died doing the ministry.
Hey, that's a good topic. What's you guys' excuses? Like you did say, these guys don't go out. Hey, when Nate's men got pelted with rocks and tear gas shot at him, not thrown at him, he said they threw us at the church. No, they were shooting it out of the guns that they use to shoot tear gas. You wouldn't know where to be found because you were doing it. You was in a toasty room doing the damn TV interview or radio interview. And the only time this guy does go, he don't even go out when he goes out to the other states. He'll go to Nigeria. He'll be out there in the front, grab the mic. Yes, get me this. When you come to the States, you ain't doing it. So that's all for show.
Be out on the streets. And he was like in his 80s, from what I understand, when he went out there to Jersey. And them demons, demonic ass Muslims, beat him down, put him in a.
Yeah, those are that same mosque. The guys that supposedly shot up Malcolm. They're from that same mosque. In what is that? Teaneck. Was that Teaneck? Teaneck is way down there. I believe it was Teaneck, New Jersey. I've been down there. Them niggas is grimy. Jersey, Newark, grimy. Nigga, grimy boy. Anyway,
the hospital. And he died from his injuries. So what's you guys' excuses? You don't have any.
Yeah, he got beat up by them because he was telling them that they were the Israelites and they were like Islam. And those Israelites, like in Philly, you had Islam came to Philly. Them brothers that became, ministers and so forth, they were like mafia. They were robbing people in the name of Allah. You got to watch out with these people, these type of people, man. Yeah, so they beat him up. So he was taken out the same way he was taken out when he was John the Baptist. He got his head chopped off. This time he got beat up, went to the hospital and died. And that was to open a way for ultimately the 7 to come in and then us to come in. This is all spiritual. Now, I wonder if the ISUPK, if they're watching the video, they can do a video on it. Did John ever come back again? And who was Elijah? I'm sorry, not Elijah. Albert Bivens. Who was he in the previous life, biblically? Because you're saying that he fell out the truth, but then he came back and he got back in the truth.
An excuse.
Please respond.
Because if you say, well, at One West, no, because you go back to One West, all the elders were out on the streets. In the winter, in the summer, fall, spring. They were all.
Yeah, like, I'm going to just say this in general, especially for GMS Chicago. It gets cold out there. I passed through Chi-Town, and it's cold out. It's a different kind of cold. When it's super, super cold, man, bone-chilling cold, y'all don't got to go out. Just have your class, in the crib. Because we did that for years. I mean, we still go out when it's cold. But when it gets bone-chilling cold and you can't get the pages and, you stomping your feet and all that. No, we don't got to do all that, But when it starts getting a little bit cold, I'm going to say this. It'll be cool. We had the vortex whatever you call it, the vortex, whatever. Winter vortex, whatever the hell you call it. It was cold, man, for a couple of days. I mean, it was bone-chilling cold. My car couldn't even start. I said, damn, this is November. And my car couldn't even start. I had a jump start. I had a box that jump starts, you know, in cars and shit. But if it's bone-chilling cold and super, super windy, and if it's monsoon rains, you know, I mean, if it's raining, you can take an umbrella. If it's monsoon rains, if it's snowstorms, you know, you can. But hey, on a snowstorm, if it takes you the hour to get from where you at to the camp, and a snowstorm, it might take you 3 hours. Doesn't make sense. But you still go out in season, out of season.
Always out there. So you guys ain't going out into the gaps. So you guys are guilty of hiding the Lord's talent in a napkin. And it's not just enough doing the sit downs.
And I can't guarantee you don't go out. They'll say, "Oh, you got to go out, brother." Well, wait a minute. Why don't you go out? You know. Anyway,
sit downs are good, beautiful, but the main course of this truth is out on the streets. Neither made up their heads for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of.
Yeah, we do that, and normally it's a backdrop. Well, you don't go in Harlem, and you don't go over here. You can go to one place because you're fulfilling what the scripture says about highways and byways. Because it's a backdrop now. Who's your audience? Your audience is the people that watch you on YouTube.
Of the Lord, right? Some of you taught or say that Jacob's trouble is gay. Some of you say that there ain't going to be no Jacob's trouble. Then years later, you change your stance on it. So you're sending out mixed messages, man.
Well, then make a statement like that, you don't understand what Jacob's trouble is all about.
You're not blowing the trumpet correctly. You're not giving,
That's another topic. You're not blowing the trumpet correctly. That's a beautiful topic right there. You're not blowing the trumpet correctly.
The certain sound of the end.
1 Corinthians 14. Read that whole chapter.
End of the world and the times that we're living in. And the seriousness of what's going on. You're giving your members, like a free pass to you don't have to take it that serious. You just take it once. You don't have to take it that serious. No, this is deadly serious. This situation you see going on right now, this global economic situation you see going on right now,
it's going to be serious because some of you guys are going to fold like a cheap camera. I say a cheap suit. I say you're going to fold like a cheap suit. The actual saying is a cheap camera. You're gonna have women and children at home, and they're gonna put pressure on you to get the chip, cause she got to get the chip. Are you gonna say, "Oh, baby, you go ahead and get the chip, and I'll pray for you when the missiles come, and let the babies get the chip, and then I'll eat off of the food that you guys get"? No, you're gonna have to get that chip, man. You to hop on the train, to do anything, you're gonna have to be on that grid, and to remain on that grid. You have to get microchipped.
Nations going digital. This is very important. This is very serious concerning prophecy. But you guys are saying that the MOTB is not the micro CHIP. So if let's say they made it mandatory tomorrow that everybody had to have a micro CHIP in order to buy or sell. The majority of them individuals will take it. Why? Because your leaders said that it's not the MOTB. So you trust your leaders more than you trust.
And like I said, if you're part of the elect and you're following these guys, well, first of all, if you're part of the elect, you're not going to be with them any damn way. You're going to leave them. Another voice they will not hear. John, I'm paraphrasing St. John chapter 10 from the first verse on down. That's a trumpet. The sound is different. You blow the trumpet. That means enemies are coming. Blow the trumpet. Another tune. That means there's going to be a wedding festival. You blow the trumpet because of a high holy day. You blow the trumpet on the new moons, on the Sabbath, on the high holy days. So it's a different. You blow a different tune than you would for the enemies coming.
the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And when you do, if you call yourself a biblical scholar, you do a little pricking, a little search with some of those.
Well, none of them guys are real Bible scholars. None of them guys would. If you say John the Baptist fell out the truth, you're nowhere near a scholar.
Greek words, and you'll be able to see it if the Spirit is working with you. Unless you took that bag, because bags blind eyesight. Bags blind, man. And you can't talk about certain things. Verse 6, they have seen vanity and lying.
You heard what he just said? You can't talk about certain things. You can say Israel, just don't call it in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But do it a piecemeal, incrementally. Don't call Yahweh Yahushai. Say, well, we don't know the name. We know the name Yahweh, but we don't know the name Yahushai. We thought that was his name. It wasn't his name. His name was really Jesus. Since we don't know, we're going to call him. Well, since we don't know, we're going to call him Jesus, and we know that it's not his name. Then why don't we just keep calling him Yahushai? You can't do that. Then they went, oh, his name is Bun Yahweh. And them zombies didn't budge. That's another topic. Them zombies didn't budge. And a lot of you zombies ain't going to budge when that chip come. If you listen to your zombie masters and they tell you to take the chip and you take it, that's your ass. Don't come around, I took the chip. Oh, what am I going to do? I said, you just die. That's all you can do is die. Come back in a new body. Because that body that you got now, you're going to be cast in the fire.
Divination, right? Making it seem that the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is with them. And they're pretty much divining for what? For money. For filthy lucre's sake. This is why they want to be everywhere and seen in the public, not on the streets, but marching and doing all these different things, so that they can bring in more members, especially women. Because more members equal more money. And the more women you have in your organization, the more money you're going to have. But the more money you have, the more problems. Because these women come with excess baggage. All right? Saying, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai saith, and the Lord have not sent them. Right. And how do we know the Lord have not sent them? Let's go to 1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are the Most High. Because
there's a basic foundational scripture, which is good. He went, the apostle went into, what was that, Ezekiel 13? Is that right? Ezekiel 13, did he go into? Which he could have stayed in that. I hadn't heard that in a while. Matter of fact, let me do this. Give me a second here. I thought I opened two. I don't need this anymore. Zechariah. Ezekiel. I'm sorry. Ezekiel 13. And the word Jeremiah, what is that? Jeremiah 23, another one. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy, and say thou unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts. So right here, why you keep getting on us, man? Mind your own business. The script, the Most High said, don't mind your own. He said, prophesy against the prophets that prophesy lies. It says, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy, and say thou unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts, hear ye the word of the Lord. So this is the scripture that backs us up. Who said that? Not Ethan, Deacon Asaph. He said, you got to stay in your own lane. You got to stay in your own. There's no scripture that says thou must stay in thy own lane. It said prophesy against the prophets that prophesy out of their own heart. Now you can read this is a breakdown right here. You read this whole chapter. There's a beautiful chapter right here. I hadn't gone through this in years, but I know it like I went through it yesterday. And we used to use this about the women, the people in the church, but it applies to the prophets, the false prophets. So anyway, let me come back over here.
False prophets are going out into the world. So now how do you try these individuals, these spirits, to see whether or not they are of the Most High? Well, you have to ask questions. And one of the main questions that should be asked today to determine whether somebody is a true prophet or a false prophet is, what is the MOTB? Is it physical or is it spiritual? Break it down. And if they tell you it's spiritual, it's not physical, it's not the micro C hip, it's, it has nothing to do with buying and selling or whatever however they spin it, then you know that they're false prophets.
If they don't repent. Hey, Apollo, he was going off. That's in Acts. Apollo's mentioned in Acts, Corinthians 2, Acts 17. Apollo was teaching the Gospel of John the Baptist. When you know about the Messiah, but when he was told by Aquila and Priscilla, he got a deeper understanding. So he would be part of the elect, and he was a dynamic speaker. He was a better speaker than the Apostle Paul, because people followed him because of his speaking. Some say I am a Paul, some say I am Apollos, some say I am Cephas. As a Messiah divided, right? Listen to a little bit more, then I'm gonna go into. What is that? Zechariah.
Let's see. Try. The word for try is dokimazo. Dokimazo is to test. See, examine. How do you examine? You have to interrogate. How do you interrogate? You ask questions. Questions concerning prophecies, questions concerning the MOTB are very important, very, very, very important prophecy in these times. To
questions concerning the great doctrine. Because instead of them guys putting on their scholarly caps, they got emotional about it. What's the word I'm looking for? To identify. Because if the Lord say, don't do this, you better believe he's going to identify what that is that he doesn't want us to do. Just like he said, don't commit adultery. But in other scriptures, it explains what adultery is. Adultery is when a man lays down with a married woman, or a married woman lays down with another man. It has nothing to do with a man having multiple wives. That is not adultery. That is some bull. Who said that? Who said that? Did Nate say that? Did he say that's adultery? That dude's a demon.
Bullshit from the West that they made you believe here in the West. And you have these bonehead, leaders that are following that. If you have more than one woman, then you're committing adultery. No, that's not scriptural. When you go back into the Old Testament.
Why do you think the highest position that you can get in the IUIC is bishop, and then under bishop is deacons? Why do you think that is? Oh, he's a bishop, he's a prophet, he's a what else is he? He's a general. He's a general too. He's gonna take care of the church and he's gonna go out to war at the same time. The reason why he chose to give the highest ranks of bishop and deacon is because a bishop and deacon only is supposed to have one wife, and that was a suggestion by the Apostle Paul. It wasn't no order. The Apostle Paul couldn't say, "Okay, you got more than one wife, you're a deacon. You got to leave one." No, if you have more than one wife, you can have more. But well, wait a minute. If you really want to go all the way, if you want to keep it 1,000, as they say, Apostle Paul said, "Don't have no women at all." So you should be pushing. Y'all shouldn't be having no women, right?
Testament. You had plenty of men back then that had
IUIC is family friendly Israelites. We're not family friendly. Don't bring your woman around, Brother Tar. I want you to anoint my woman. Why don't you anoint your own woman?
Had more than one.
You've been in this thing for 15 years. I want you guys to anoint. Nigga, anoint your own woman. Anoint your own kids.
Woman. They had concubines. You know?
Concubines means that of other nations. King David had concubines. Solomon had he had 300 concubines. So it's not right. In the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have concubines. And I can't wait.
But it is what it is, you know? Those of you that get caught up in that web, guess what? That's what you were appointed for. If the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into a ditch. But the greater penalty is going to fall upon the leaders that are leading you down that rabbit hole.
Luke 12.
Because they know what they're doing. It's too much evidence out there to say that, to be ignorant that the MOTB is a micro-CM. It's too much evidence to be ignorant. The word says prove.
That's why we say they sold out. The receipts are stacked yay high.
Scrutinize, right? When you scrutinize something, you're not leaving any stone unturned. Scrutinize, right? Examine or inspect closely and thoroughly. So you're doing a diligent search. A diligent search, scrutinizing to see whether a thing is genuine or not.
And they don't do a diligent search. None of their zombies do a diligent search. And some of you guys in the ISUBK, you're just weak. And when it comes to the scriptures, man, y'all don't know what's going on. Now, Captain Zechariah, he's strong in the Bible. Captain Katazak, he's strong. And some of you others, right? But you don't got the whole thing. You guys are dancing, but there's no music playing. I'm just trying to be funny here. Got to use a little levity. Y'all know a lot of things, but y'all don't got the whole thing. You can Captain Zechariah, I dare you to say you got 100% truth, because you don't.
Medals. So you're pretty much testing, testing the grounds by questioning these individuals and their beliefs. It says to recognize as genuine after examination, to approve, deem worthy. Damn, I just mentioned that term. It was a precept. Let me see. I'm not sure if it's gonna come up a lot of times. Okay, 37 times. I believe it's in the New Testament. All right. It might be. Let me try this.
This is called a cheat code. Nothing wrong with the cheat code.
Might be in the Apocrypha. I can't remember exactly how it was worded. I said I made a comment about diligently searching or seeking, but it's all good. Let's go back to Ezekiel 13:6. They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, "The Lord Yahweh B'Shem Shai saith, and the Lord hath not sent them." And they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word. Right, because these individuals, instead of instead of doing their due diligence, they're leaning upon these leaders and hoping that the leaders will give them all the answers that they need and confirm everything. But you got to put in your work. You know, you got to do your diligence to look things up. You know, and with Great Millstone, you have no excuse, because you'll see, beginning with Elder Pastor, we'll ask Google questions, we'll ask the Chat GPT questions, we'll go to, like, let's say the Bible Hub or different, you know, commentaries or whatever the case may be, just to see what they say, to see if they're in agreement with what we're saying. You know, so when you watch these videos, not only are you getting breakdowns, but you're also getting methods of studying. Jeremiah 17:5, it says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, whose heart departed from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai." Right, because your fear towards the Lord is taught by the precept of men, and that goes for the majority of you Israelites out there. You know, and this is why you have such a large influx right now of Israelites coming from everywhere. Why? Because it's popular now. It's just like back in the 80s and 90s, especially like in the mid 80s to like the mid 90s, the Muslim movement, the FOI, Fruits of Islam, it was very popular back then. Everybody wanted to be a part of that. Just like going back to the 60s and 70s, everybody wanted to be a Black Panther. You know, it was the in thing, it was a new thing, it was a hip thing. So that's what's going on right now with Israel. There's been a resurgence in popularity, you know? And the majority of these people that's coming in, they're only coming in for entertainment. They're not coming in because they're sincere. They're not coming in because they want to be delivered and saved by the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They're coming in for entertainment purposes. Oh, let's see what they're going to say this week. And that's Ezekiel 33. Let's see what, and they'll talk about it, but they won't get down with it. Because at the end of the day, how do you prove your faith? By works. Like the Apostle James said, show me your faith without your works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. So a lot of these people out here are full of shit. They're couch potatoes. They'll watch on the job. They'll watch. When they're out and about, but they will not lift up a hand to do anything for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So they're held accountable for everything they hear, and the Lord's going to deal with them, especially you leaders out there. Because everybody's talking about this MOTB except for you. All you keep doing is trying to spin, that it's not the micro CF. But slowly but surely you're working it in there. And about 2 years ago, so I said I'm interested to see how these leaders in these camps are going to spin, and twist their way into saying that the micro CF is the MOTB and that they've always been talking about it. It's an amazing thing to see. And don't be surprised. Yeah, Great Millstone, they never taught that. They always taught against the MOTB being the micro CF. That's how.
We got tons of receipts. So we got tons of receipts.
And then you know what? The people out there so brain dead, such numbskulls that they'll believe that shit. Say, yeah, you know what? That's true, man. They never talked about it. It's an amazing thing to see, man.
And stop using my words, man. Numbskulls. I came up with that.
Have you not seen a vain vision, and have ye not spoken a lying divination? Yeah, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the elect of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai are going to shine forth, are going to shine through.
The elect are different from the rest of Israel. Israel as a whole, pursuant to Isaiah, they are the elect, but there's an elect within the elect.
And it's going to be,
which is also known as the first fruit.
Be known that the elect have always been teaching these things. That's why the Lord said, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. This is Malachi 3:16. Then they that feared the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai spake often one to another. How are we speaking? By going out there teaching, constantly bringing out the edification. Matter of fact, let me get.
And all this stuff of us bombarding YouTube, and mainly YouTube and the highways and the byways, everybody's talking about the Israelite thing now. You can't hide it, The news said don't deal with them, blacklist them. But that's why they want to control the whole web thing now. Because the truth is already out there. If you just have a few last prophecies, the next major, super major, mega major prophecy that's going to take place is the chipping. And like I said, this closing down of the government and this the SNAP thing, the food stamp thing, I believe that was a Trojan horse, was an experiment to see how the people react. Also known as a psyop. Go look up the word psyop, because a lot of y'all don't look up words. Transhumanism is a microchip. When you get the chip, you're experiencing a thing called transhumanism. The belief or theory that the human race, people, can evolve beyond its current physical and mental limitations, especially by means of science and technology. That's biometrics. The living thing being measured. Okay, where did I say I was going to go? Oh, PSYOP. PSYOP, meaning. A PSYOP is an abbreviation for psychological operations, which is the planned use of propaganda, we're going to look that word up, and other methods to influence the emotions, attitudes, and behaviors of a target audience. That's the whole planet. These operations can be used by governments and militaries to achieve objectives, such as shaping foreign decision-making, influencing public opinion, aiding in disaster relief, or demoralizing an enemy. The term can also refer to military specialists who conduct these operations. Propaganda. Let's look up the word propaganda. Trojan horse, PSYOP, propaganda, predictive programming. So you learned all this from us. Propaganda, information especially of a biased or misleading nature used to promote a particular cause, doctrine, or point of view. Whether this is propaganda or not, one country A attacks country B because they're killing their own babies. They're killing their own babies. You got to do something about that. Okay, so now let's come over here. I want to go to Zechariah 2. The Most High's favorite to Zion. Zion is another name for Israel. I lift up my eyes again and look, behold, with the measure, the hand, line in hand. Then said I, whither goest thou? And he said unto me, to measure Jerusalem. This bingo, that goes with Revelation 11. It's remember the second verse or so. The measuring stick, measure the temple. Jerusalem is a temple, is the people before it's a place. Measuring stick is to see if you measure up by the scriptures, to see what is the breadth thereof and what is the length thereof. Spiritually, we're measuring you with the scriptures, right? Got to go into this whole thing, but I'm going to go right to the point. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be spoiled to their servants, and ye shall know that Yahweh of hosts have sent me, which is the prophet. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, the Israelites, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee. Revelation 21. The Lord shall dwell among men, saith Yahweh. And many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day. What does it mean by many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day? First scripture that popped into my head was Isaiah 14:1. The stranger shall be joined unto thee, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. This is the same thing. The many nations are talking about Israelites coming from amongst the scattered among the nations. Did not it say in St. John, we all familiar with this scripture, St. John 7:35, whither will he go that we cannot find him? Will he go among the dispersed among the Gentiles, the Israelites, to teach the Gentiles? Will he go among the dispersed among the Gentiles to teach the Gentiles? It's talking about, will he go among the dispersed among the Gentiles, the Israelites, to teach the Israelites in the Gentile state of mind? Vocab says, see, that means he's going to go to the Israelites among the Gentiles, and he's going to ask the Israelite, you an Israelite? Yes, I'm not dealing with you. What about you? I'm Greek. I'll come. I'm going to teach you. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that. Let me read this again. And many nations shall be joined. If you stop right here, and many nations, you can say, well, that could be talking about actual nations. That could be talking about Moab, Edom, whatever. Canaan, the Canaanites, whatever. But if you read the entire verse, and many nations shall be joined with Yahweh in that day. We're coming to that day. And shall be my people. Who are the people of the Most High? The Israelites. Let's show you that those guys sold out. And I will dwell in the midst of thee. So the Most High going to dwell. He always loved the other nations. Vocab said he really loved the Gentiles more than the Israelites. His love was always for the Gentiles. It says, and thou shalt know that Yahweh, this is in the kingdom of hosts, have sent me unto thee. And Yahweh shall inherit Judah, his portion in the Holy Land. We're going to put us back in our land. And shall choose Jerusalem again, because we're going to be back in our Holy Land. Be silent, O all flesh, before Yahweh, for he is raised up out of his holy habitation. The Lord's, Yahweh's holy habitation is heaven itself, the spiritual realm, right? So, really, we don't got to read this, but this is part of it too. Got to read the whole chapter. This is clearly talking about Israel. And many nations shall be joined to Yahweh. Those are Israelites. In that day, and shall be my people. So that means Ammonite is going to be the Lord's people. The Canaanite is going to be the Lord. No, the many nations are Israelites. And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that Yahweh of hosts have sent me unto you. Now, if that's the case, wouldn't the disciples say, accept, wait a minute. This is going contrary to what Yahweh Shai said to the original 12. He said, don't go to the Gentiles. But they could have said, well, wait a minute, Lord. It says in Zechariah 2, verse 10 and 11, it says we are supposed to, the Most High, because they don't know the scriptures. They do know the scriptures. Them guys, this is the season of selling out. They all sold out. In my opinion, I can't prove it. I don't got the receipts. But based upon how they teaching this, they fucking sold out, man. Them guys are set up to bring confusion. Let me see. Let me do this. Let me go to NLT. I got to do my walk. I got lazy. I said I was going to do the walk, but I can take days off, but I'm going to do it any goddamn way. And I'm going to hit the conditioning too and hit them weights. I don't go to the gym. I got my own gym in the crib. Zechariah, as you can see, is NLT. Zechariah 2 verse 10. Yahweh says, shout and rejoice, O beautiful Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a people before his place, for I am coming to live among you. Many nations will join themselves to Yahweh on that day, and they too will be my people. Isaiah 14:1. Strangers shall be joined into them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. The strangers, the seven, especially Ariah, he said the strangers are other nations. That means they're going to try to be Christians and Jews. No, those strangers are Israelites. I will live among you, and you will know that Yahweh of heaven's armies sent me to you. The land of Judah will be Yahweh's special possession in the Holy Land, and he will once again choose Jerusalem to be his own city. Be silent before Yahweh, all humanity, for he is springing into action from his holy dwelling. This goes hand in hand, like I said, with Isaiah chapter 14. John 7:35. And there's other scriptures on that too. Ezekiel chapter 37, the whole chapter. So anyway, with that, just come over here real quick. I'm sorry.
The northern lights are typically limited to places like Alaska and northern Canada, but social media users as far south as Alabama and Florida were able to step outside and snap pictures of.
Okay, now this is USA Today Network via Reuters Connect. Hallu Lake, Oklahoma, November 11th. That was a couple of days ago, 2025. Look at the skies. Signs in the heavens. That's in Luke 21. Be not dismayed by the signs of heaven. Jeremiah 10. Everything we've been saying is coming to pass now. So anyway, shalom, on to the next shalom.